been having some crazy technical difficulties. I don't know what the heck is going on. For the people that were just logged in on the last live, apologize for that. I had to, I don't know, something's going crazy. Sorry for the issues. So, what's everybody up to this evening? I was started on time, I promise. I don't know what the hell's going on with this computer and issues, but you know how they say that you're not going to have any issues until until you go live. So anyway, I just got back from Slamology. Just got back from Pro Sound. There you go, Van. Cool. What's up, man? I had a couple other people in here watching too. I think I lost them. Hopefully they'll log on to this one. Who knows what the heck was going on. So like I said, this is episode 21. Blows my mind that we've been doing this for this long. Reaching like right at 2,500 subscribers. We got a cool Patreon group as well too. Speaking of that, your guys' shirts are in. So which will be the Base Brings Us Together shirts. Very similar to the one that I have on, or if you are getting a pink one, to be similar to Kat's pink one. The only difference is it will not have the JTR logo on the back. It'll say JTR speakers 150 dB experience, Scott Newby experience. Excuse me. It just won't have the JTR logo on the back, and it won't have the RTJ logo on the sleeve. I got permission from Jeff from JTR to use that stuff for her and I shirts. I didn't ask for permission to use on everybody's else. I didn't want to, me and Jeff and I are buddies. I just, I'm not trying to use his company to help promote us. Just to be clear with all that. So anyway, if we see you guys at InWave, we're bringing your shirts with us. If we're not, then we are sending them out. Kat and I will probably start getting those sent out. I don't know, probably like Monday or Tuesday next week. We got, I think, one going to New Jersey and New York and Denmark. Brother from Denmark, you got some coming out your way, so that's awesome. Yeah, Van Gogh, the Slamology videos were absolutely bananas. No doubt, man. Slamology was certainly a new experience for me. I got into car audio years ago. I think that's why I ended up going so crazy in home theater with the bass. Is just, my love of bass started at a young age, and then through car audio, and then I got out of car audio a lot when, I don't know, maybe in my early 20s, and then started building home theater setups. But yeah, man, some of those car systems are fucking nuts, man. Like, I can certainly appreciate, well, first of all, the money, the time. Some of these guys come up with some absolutely amazing ideas in the different style boxes and just all the equipment, and the electrical is absolutely bananas to be running that kind of power. I sat through a couple of like 160 dB demos, that rocked my world, no doubt. At home, certainly, in the 150s, completely different arena. When we're sitting in a car, I need to stop saying so much. Everybody's going to be bitching at me. But it's just a different, it's a lot windier in the vehicle, especially in the theater that we built here. Everything is tuned for being super low. So just different sensations, no doubt. The car chokes you up a little bit more. The home theater chokes you up a little bit too, but just kind of in a different way. So yeah, I can certainly appreciate it. I got to sit through quite a few demos and watch other people go through demos, and I was really just paying a lot of attention to the detail that went into the setup and the wiring of not just electrical, but of the subs, and why the guys went the route they did. And I got to talk to a lot of cool people. And what I found out a lot too, is a lot of the car audio guys are very passionate, just like the home theater guys. We all have a love for the audio and for the equipment and for the camaraderie between everybody. But yeah, I was out there with a car audio group. The guys at DOA is the name of their group, and they got quite a few vehicles, and sat through a lot of their demos and talked with those guys and hung out with a lot of those guys for the day. And just So if you guys never been to Slamology, it's an absolutely huge, huge event. It was held out at the Lucas, Indiana Speedway in Indianapolis, which was, I don't know, about a 2 or 2.5 hour drive for me. I went out there for the whole day, got my world rocked. Just it's an experience. I shared a whole bunch of pictures. If you're not part of our Facebook group or friends with me on Facebook, just shoot me a request. But you know, some very basic setups to the most absolute extreme, absolutely unbelievable setups. So it was awesome. If you get a chance to go to a show like that, I'm going to go to another one at the end of July called Base Wars, and I'm going to go check that out. And kind of the same premise of, I believe it's just going to be a smaller version of Slamology. I'm just slowly getting back into the car audio scene. So just, Mike, what is up, brother, man? Thanks for joining this evening. To the people that were on the first live, I don't know, had some weird shit going on with my laptop. We just got home not too long ago, and Kat had to step out and had emergency going on at work. So just, yeah, so bear with me, everybody. So, like I said, for the Patreon members, your shirts we'll see at M-Wave next week. If not, then we will be shipping them out to you if you're not going to M-Wave. And so something that's, because we're planning on holding some more events in the future, and possibly these shirts will be for sale, not through us. We're not trying to get into the shit show of a t-shirt selling business, but the girl that we work with that does our shirts for us, she's possibly going to be working on a link. So if you want to get your hands on one of the shirts, I can just send you a link. You buy it right from her. We're not trying to make a buck off of it, but we've had quite a few people reach out to us about, hey, because if you become a Patreon member, then you get a shirt for free. But if you're not interested in that and just want a shirt because I think it's a cool shirt, then that's up to you. I'm actually just filing for the trademark for the phrase "Base brings us together." So I was actually just filling out a lot of the paperwork and shit right before I logged on here, just so I could trademark the "Base brings us together" for future events or any t-shirt or stuff like that. So we'll talk more about Slamology, and we'll talk some more about M-Wave. What are you guys doing on this absolutely amazing Friday night? It's been hotter than hell in the Chicagoland area the last couple of days, in the 90s. I think like Monday or Tuesday they're calling for like 100. I got absolutely a million things to get done before we leave out of here first thing next Thursday for M-Wave. Kat and I are leaving out of here like 6 a.m. So it'll be about, like, we're going to road trip. It'll be like a good 8.5 hour. Fred 215, what is up, brother? Thanks for stopping by on this Friday night. So yeah, Kat and I will road trip at about 8.5 hours. Like you guys know, she'll be volunteering out there. I'll be walking around enjoying myself, causing some trouble, trying to get everybody to crank it up. And yeah, so on top of Slamology, I got to partake in my buddy Jay, that's a DJ in Chicago. He rented out like this huge gymnasium in Chicago that he had some new subs show up there. So I'm gonna, bear with me because I'm not nearly as fluent as some of these guys out there. So he invited, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 other DJ guys, and he invited me out there as well also, because he had the new baseball subs and the new JTR subs, because JTR just dropped some new subs for on the pro audio side. So JTR dropped 2 new dual 18s, which we'll talk about here. And then he also had baseball dual 21s, baseball dual 18s. So we'll get into more of that right now. So anyway, Jay reached out to me, says, hey, got this event coming out. We're going on if you want to come out, hang out for the afternoon, which I did. I went out there for about 3 or 4 hours. The gymnasium was set up with all these subs, large area. We did some SPL readings. I wanted to do some RU readings, but we weren't set up, and we didn't think about this ahead of time. But he's going to be holding this event again but I wasn't able to feed because he's a DJ with DJ Mixer and stuff like that. As I wasn't able to feed the HDMI signal into it to run roof sweeps. So we did some, because obviously you have to take the room into account. We were thinking about doing that. I'm sorry, I wasn't a guest here. I didn't partake in the setup. He was thinking about doing it outside, but with the weather conditions, he wasn't sure. So all the SPL testing I did was close 1 meter, 2 meter. I didn't get very many decent 1 meter readings because it would clip the microphone. I was able to get some decent 2 meter readings, and we're going to be sharing some more of those results on the next one because we want to get some readings, do some compression sweeps. We ran all the subs to their max, and I'm going to share my thoughts. And I talked with all these other DJs as well too, of kind of what they thought, because I believe I was the only person there representing the home theater side of things, and to be in conversation with guys that are doing live music or music reinforcement, live sound, DJ. It was nice to kind of just hear other people's thoughts on what they thought, and then I kind of gave my thoughts as well. So to make you guys a little bit more familiar with what they had going on out there, I'm gonna share my screen. So we'll start with the baseball subs. I'll show you guys what they had out there. So, sorry. They had this sub out there, which was their dual 18. Honestly, man, I wasn't that impressed. I've heard of bass before, and I've read some of the reviews, and I've talked to other DJs before that have used some of their equipment and was pretty impressed by it. So this was my least favorite sub out of the four. So there was a dual 21, a dual 18, and then the two new dual 18 models from Jeff at JTR. So the dual 18 from Bass Boss, and I was just kind of leaning in on conversations. I did have some one-on-one conversations with some of the DJs that were there, and I think it was a very unanimous thought that most people were not a big fan of the dual 18 Bass Boss. And I noticed, but I didn't want to insert my thoughts until I heard other people's thoughts, just because I didn't want to see if I persuaded anybody in any way. But the drivers make a lot of noise, especially under stress when put to their limit. I don't know if the limiters are maybe a little loose, or we were playing songs out of the frequency range, but they were literally playing like 20 different songs of all kinds of different kinds of music, hitting all kinds of different frequencies. I'd say out of like 12 or 15 music clips, only like one or two of them was really like, oh, this sub doesn't sound too bad. The other ones they were pretty rough. It was just a lot of driver noise, a lot of in and out. Even when it wasn't pushed to its limit, you could still hear like some slight mechanical, like not like a chafing, almost not a chuffing, but a chafing. Like, I don't know, maybe there was something wrong with the sub. Like I said, though, there was one or two songs that when it was cranked up, it didn't sound terrible, but on a lot of them, it didn't seem very musical. A lot of the guys were using words like, "Oh, it doesn't seem very composed," or it's very sloppy bass, which I could agree with. Also, a couple of the guys said, "Oh, there's no protection over the portholes." Some of the gigs that we do, people would be sliding a beer bottle or a bag of potato chips or something in there. So I don't know if there was protection in there or not, but I mean, like from this picture, I don't really see any. A couple of the spec, we'll just go over the specs real quick on this if you haven't checked it out. So the Bass Boss subs are bigger than the JTR subs. This sub was bigger than both of the JTR subs. We will get down to the specs. And I'm not hating on this sub. I mean, these are just my thoughts. I wasn't very impressed with it. I believe that this sub runs around $6,000. You see frequency response 23 plus or minus 3 dB. They're claiming 134 in 1 meter half space. So it's a big sub too. 5,000 watts, 2,500 by 2, so each 18 seeing 2,500. And I'm trying to get down to the weight. Because like I was talking to a lot of the DJ guys, the weight is a huge factor. So 235 pounds. Now that might have been the lightest sub out of all of them. So that was my least favorite. I had a lot of people message me asking me about which sub I liked, which one I didn't, and I was trying to save it all for tonight. Van Gogh says he's been 90 for a few days. Yeah, man, I feel it's been hot as hell out here in Chicago. Next week ain't letting up. So back to the bass bus. The other sub that we got to check out was the Makara MK3. So this was definitely the most visual, impactful sub. When you walked up to it, you're like, whew. Not only does it, you say, ooh, for two reasons. As one, it looks like a complete monster, and it looks like it's going to be a great time. And the second thing is, whew, if I had to haul that thing around, I'd be busting my balls. So a lot of the guys, they're like, oh, if you're doing if it's going to stay in the same spot or the same club or in your establishment, that wouldn't be a concern for them. Some of the guys weren't interested in it, that it was just kind of a huge pain in the ass to move around. This one, I think this one came in at the heaviest. Let me see. It comes with a cart. I don't know if you got to buy that cart separate or if it comes with it. So this one has the dual 21s in it. I believe also, with a 2x2500 watt amp. I'm just going to guess then that's the same amp that's powering the dual 18s, just because the power is exactly the same. I may be wrong on that, and I believe you can run that. I don't know if you can run them both off of 240 if you want. So that one's at 294 pounds. So that one is the heaviest one, I believe. Because I think both of the JTR ones coming around like in the 270s or 280s. So anyway, this is the dual 21 model. I was very excited to check this one out. As you guys all know, I'm a bass head. I was impressed in some ways and disappointed in other ways. If you're in its wheelhouse, which it would hit you hard in the chest, but it seemed like it was a very narrow. We played, like I said, a lot of different songs, and a couple of the songs that hit you real good in the chest. But one thing that a lot of us guys notice is if you play a song, and it's very apparent, if you play a song where it hits a few notes and it starts at like 80, then drops down to 60, then 40, then 30, then 20, is you're certainly missing out on some of it. And the protection on this one seems a lot tighter than the one on the dual 18, because you would go from one octave to the next, and then there would be absolutely nothing. And it seemed sloppy outside of its like wheelhouse, which a lot of us guys were thinking like in like the 50 to 70 hertz range. It had a lot of, decent bass coming from it, but it seemed very peaky. A couple of the DJ guys were just saying that what they call it, which we call in home theater world too, but it was like a one hit wonder. Like as long as you're gonna hit that note, you're gonna wow the shit out of everybody. But the further you get away from that note, the less appealing that the sub seemed to be. So I don't know. On just certain songs, it seemed to really perform well. On most of the other songs, it didn't seem like it was anything special to me and a lot of the guys that I was talking to. So very large sub, very expensive. I think that this sub is like around $8,000. So to spend that kind of money on a sub that doesn't cover a huge part of the frequency range with authority, I mean, for me, I'm not a DJ, but from what they were saying is, that it's going to be hard to justify that cost, which I can certainly understand. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Dual 21 and the Dual 18 setup from Bass Boss. The Dual 18, like I said, I didn't really care a lot for that one. It seemed kind of sloppy and a lot of driver noise. We didn't really experience any driver noise with the Dual 21. Even when pushed to its limit, it just seemed to have a lot more narrow frequency response that it really performed well at. So let me go, and I will go to the JTR page of what subs that we compared these to, and that is I don't think Jeff has the pictures of these up yet, but you'll kind of get an idea because they look somewhat like the other speakers that he has. So let me, hopefully you guys can, I don't know why it's still showing that page. Let me remove that. Hold on one second, guys. Because I want to show you the subs that we compared it to. Stop that screen, and we're going to add a screen. Here you go. See, I'm still learning my way around this shit. I like to be out in the field, man. I shoot a lot of shorts and put a lot of stuff on our YouTube channel, our Patreon, our Facebook stuff. When I get to all this technical stuff, man, I don't know. Sometimes, so anyway, so you guys can see so what JTR's come out with is now the 218 Pro and the 218 Touring models. So I believe, probably sometime soon I'll be releasing some updated pictures of this. So they look similar to these two. So the 218 Pro and the 218 Touring are going to look very similar to his other DJ subs that aren't, folded horn. So what they did here is the Tour goes down to, it's tuned to 20 hertz. It'll actually go down lower than that. And then the Pro is tuned to 25 hertz. And though they're considerably 225 pounds, 185 pounds, not that they're light. So my thoughts on these is I've heard most of all the JTR stuff before. So the 218 Pro, now this is my first time hearing these two subs. These are brand new subs that Jeff just released. I'm just going to go right off the bat and say the 218 Tour was my favorite of all the subs, including the other JTR sub. And not because it was the absolute loudest, but it was to my ears and my experience, and a lot of the other guys I was talking to there, is a super clean bass. And a lot of the DJ guys weren't used to, because they played like some EDM tracks that dropped down pretty low. And with that sub being tuned to 20 hertz, it had a lot of good deep output in the upper teens, low 20s. And it was funny because a couple of DJ guys there were like, man, this is too nice a bass for some of the events that I hold, or this is like rich bass. Just there was a lot of it, and it just sounded really good. And it was the quietest of all the subs too. There was absolutely no driver noise, no port noise. Even when it was pushed absolutely to its limit, it was just super clean compared to all the other subs. The 218 Pro hit you in the chest hard with that little bit higher tuning range. It did lack on just the lowest of the lows, but in like that 25 to 40 hertz range, man, that thing was really beating on your chest. A lot of people like the 218 Pro. They said for a lot of the music that they play, it was slamming for sure. And for that being the littlest sub there, physically. What's funny is because when you look at these subs, if you just looked at them all one on one, you'd be like, holy shit, that's a huge sub. But when you see four of them together, and like especially with the dual 21 bass boss and the dual 18 bass boss, they're both bigger cabinets than both of these JTRs. Is everything just looks a little bit smaller when they're all huge subs. So for just overall finesse and quality and what I would want to sit there and listen to a lot of music on, the touring definitely won it for me. A lot of guys are saying they're like, that's a gold standard right there. You know, in the DJ game, that's a gold standard. To have a sub play that loud, that low, and be that clean, they're like, that's not common in our world. Like, we got a lot of loud subs, but, you know, none of them are that clean, especially going down that low. So I don't know. It'd be, for me, just because I'm a huge fan of the super low bass, I think the 218 Tour would be my choice. But you really couldn't go wrong with the 218 Pro either, especially if you wanted that extra grab in the chest. So we metered the loudest subs there was the 218 Pro and then the dual 21 from Bass Boss. So we measured from 2 meters back, which is still, you know, in pretty close proximity. And I think at like 35 hertz, they were like a dead tie within like a 0.2 dB of each other. So they were certainly the loudest two subs there. But the 218 Pro is also $3,000 cheaper, smaller, lighter, easier to manage and move around. And it seemed to have a much wider frequency working range. We'll be able to confirm all of this with more measurements that we're going to do in the future. I think Jay said next month he's planning on doing this event again, and then we'll be set up a through, and then I can share all the root graphs with you guys too. So that was an event. I mean, that was a pretty awesome event, and to check out these new subs was absolutely amazing too. And I believe the 218 Pro and the 218 Tour both are 4,000 watt. They come powered. The Bass Boss all come powered. The Bass Boss each, I believe, are 5,000 watts each, and then the JTR subs are 4,000 watts each. So in their dual 18 models, just different models. They're not the same driver. So the boxes are tuned differently. The Tour is tuned lower, but it also has different drivers. Got high XMAX drivers in that, I believe. On that, and I don't want to misquote, but yeah, the drivers in that have 36 millimeter XMAX, and in the Pro, it's 22 millimeter XMAX. So the Tour is literally, it's built for deep bass and being very loud. And then the Pro hits you if you like that huge chest impact, and you don't need just the absolute lowest of the lows, then the Pro is going to be your route to go. It's going to be easier for you to move around. It's going to have more of that chest feel. If you just want a lot of deep ass bass quality and super clean, then the Tour is the way to go. Those were my two favorite subs there. And some people might say, oh, you're biased because you got a room full of JTR gear. I got no dog in this fight. I'm not a DJ. I'm not a pro sound guy. I don't sell the speakers. I don't make any money off the speakers being sold. It's just, I mean, that is what it is. At the next one, they're talking about possibly having some JBL subs and stuff there too, so I can get my thoughts on that. I haven't heard a JBL Pro sub in quite some time, so it'd be cool to just, and they come in at even a cheaper range, so you wouldn't expect them to perform as good as, say, the Bass Boss, or even, you know, nearly as good as a JTR. But it's nice to know of what $1,000 can get you, what $2,000 can get you, and then, you know, what $5,000 and then $8,000. I think that's important to everybody. Is you pick what sub works for your application. If a $2,000 sub does everything you want it to do, then there's no reason for you to spend anymore. So I will close that screen. Hey, Colin, what's up, brother, man? Thanks for hopping on here. Got back from a beautiful day on the boat. Man, that is what's up. So what is everybody else up to? I plan on hanging out with you guys for about an hour. We're already about halfway through. I tell you, time flies when you're having fun. Man, I tell you, I got a project going on here with Catch Jeep. If you guys have been following us on on the Facebook group or our Living It Facebook group or your Patreon, you guys have seen. Um, so I feel like my room personally is done for a while. I certainly got, I got to where I want to be. Someday, I'll get a new projector, but the one I have now throws an absolute beautiful image. It's got a newer bulb and just recalibrated it. I'm hitting the numbers I want to hit, and like 155 dB in this room is insane. There's not really much left for me to chase in here. Everything sounds good, set up good. All the rattles are pretty much taken care of. So I have this issue to where I can't let my mind rest for whatever reason. So after going to Slamology and experiencing some of those cool cars, the first thing I did when I got home was looked at walling off a vehicle. And I was like, man, because I did my theater all 100% from scratch. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to just start a whole nother project with a car. And we already got 3 cars and a million things going on with the kids and with work, and the theater, was literally like a 5-year work in progress. So I was like, now that the theater's done-ish, there's probably a couple things I'll still screw around with in here. I was like, man, I need to. Kat's been complaining ever since we got the Jeep. Well, since we got the Jeep for her, I don't really like to drive. The Jeep's too small for me. But the stereo sucks in it. Like it sucks beyond belief, especially if you have any of the top pieces off, even if it's just the 2 panels, let alone the whole damn top. You can't hear nothing. And then even if you have everything closed and the windows closed, there's absolutely no bass, no mid bass, sorry ass highs. It's I don't know. For what they charge for the Jeeps, for like the Wrangler Limiteds and all that, the stereo system sucks. We heard one with the Alpine system in it too. It was slightly better because I don't know, they add like a 8-inch sub or 10-inch sub and a little bit better speakers or some shit. But it wasn't worth the cost upgrade. It was no. So anyway, the stereo in the Jeep sucks. So when I got home from Slamology, I was like, man, I don't want to start another project, but it's cool because a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of the DOA guys, I'm friends with some of them. Some of them have been down to our house. So got to hang out with those guys a little bit and demo some of their vehicles and demo a lot of the other cars at Slamology. And I was like, man, new project, something new, just a different direction. It's been 15 years since I've done anything audio-wise with a car. So I was just like, shit. So when I got home, obviously I was all amped up from hanging out with the guys and going through the event. And I was already decided on I didn't want to buy a vehicle and start from scratch because of the time. So then I was like, what the hell? So then I started Googling walled off Suburbans and Tahoes and Yukons that people were selling. And I mean, for the guys that do really nice jobs on their vehicles, I mean, they're asking a pretty penny, which it's a lot of money in vehicles. I can understand more than I was comfortable spending, especially with everything that we already have going on with the theater and other projects. And then the ones that, I was like, oh, those prices aren't bad. And it was a lot of half-ass work. And I was like, I wouldn't be proud to show. I would have bought something and kind of put my own twist on it and did a few things different. But some of the guys, selling in like that $15,000 range were the close-up pictures and that they, I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable about it. So I thought, well, Kat's been complaining that the stereo in her Jeep sucks. So let's do something with the Jeep. Now, I had a lot of roadblocks, but I got all kinds of shit incoming too. Literally, there's going to be packages showing up every day for like the next 3 weeks. And because I don't like to just take it to somebody and say, hey, just do all this stuff. I definitely want to have my hands in it and I need to understand it. So watching a lot of YouTube videos, asking a lot of questions with the guys now that I'm friends with in the car audio world. And so I had some constraints with the Jeep. So now the Jeep is Kat's daily driver. So I couldn't do anything with the functionality that would make driving it less pleasurable for her. Because at the end of the day, she wants a little bit of bass. She wants some good mids and highs. So she wants to crank it up and it sounds good instead of like shit like she's used to. So right away, couldn't needs all the seats. She hauls the kids around herself or she goes shopping. But the very back of the Jeep, I kind of had free reign with, which nothing's even done to it yet. I just got some parts that came in over the last couple of days, more tomorrow, more the next day, and blah, blah, blah. I'm doing one of the guys that is with the DOA group. He's going to build me a custom box. And it's going to have a fiberglass front, acrylic front on it with like some LEDs inside so we can view the driver, the backside, the motor, the magnet and everything. And then when the trunk's open. So if Kat goes to like a car show or something, she can kind of show it off. And we're going to do a wheel and tire package of what she wants to do. She's looking at some cool wheels with like some pink inlays or like some pink matte finish on them or sparkly finish, whatever she wants to do. It's her car. The looks of it is completely going to be whatever her imagination brings up. But the audio part, I wanted a big part of because if we're going to present it and I'm tied in with it, I wanted it to present a certain way. So in my mind, because I'm a visual guy, is I wanted the Sundown Audio Nightshade 18, absolutely huge ass driver with a beautiful motor construction on the back, which I can bring up a picture of that now. It's absolutely beautiful if you haven't seen it. So just like in the theater with Substack floor to ceiling, it's a visual thing. And they're amazing drivers. I got to check them out at Slamology, and I've actually heard one before as well. I don't know what's going on here. So, I don't know why this shit don't work the way I want it to. You know that? Oh, maybe I'm supposed to put it in Sundown Audio. Here we go. See, I'm learning something. So this is a sub that I ordered. I wanted the 18, but the box would have been too big. So now I'll go into more of exactly of how the build's going to go. And then on our next podcast that Kat and I do together, which will probably be the week after M-Wave, because Kat and I will come on for our regular podcast and we'll talk about M-Wave and her experience and what she thought about the event. So the sub that I wanted to go with, the sub I wanted to go with was this sub, but in the 18-inch version. Would have been the Nightshade 18. So just due to the box constraints, we had to go with the Nightshade 15, and that'll be in a custom box. And I think the tuning on that will be like right at 32 hertz. And you guys can't see it. Oh, good thing Kat's jumping in. Kat, I am all over the place. Kat must have just been getting home. But man, I had to stop the feed, restart the feed, lost the people that were watching. Some of them came back. Some shit's working, some shit's not. I don't know. I'm down here lost. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because I'm not drinking tonight. So this is the driver. Here we go. Now you guys can see, because obviously I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Half you guys got to be at home. This got to be entertaining for you that I'm sitting over here making a fool out of myself. So anyway, like I explained, I'm a visual person. I seen the Nightshade 18 in person. I was like, man, that is insane. If I do a build ever, I want that sub to be incorporated, and I want to see it. So after Slamology, I came home, talked with Kat, like, hey, you've been looking for a better sound system in your car. I got an idea. Instead of me building a car, let's build your Jeep because you want a better sound system anyway. I get the theater done. My brain, I'm blessed cat because my mind is all over the place all the time. I don't know what the hell's the matter with me. So anyway, so this sub will sit with the acrylic in the front, and then you'll be able to see the motor through it, and then the box is going to be a matte black, and then the inside will be painted white with LEDs inside, which I know she wants to do pink, but they should be like multi-changing colors so she can do whatever color she wants. So she'll probably end up doing some kind of wheel and tire packages she likes with some kind of pink added to them. She's seen some really nice looking ones with light pink, not light pink, but I mean just little touches of pink like inlays in them that look pretty cool. And she's got other stuff pink on the Jeep. So it'll be a pink and black Jeep. And then, the LEDs to set it off on this motor right here as well too. So that's the sub that we ended up going with. And then I'll share. So to power that sub is 3,000 watt RMS. We went with, and I'll share pictures of all this on our page too when all this, as this stuff all shows up. I got a whole table upstairs that, because I'm going to try to document some of the build on the Jeep. Now I need to go back. So that's the sub we went. We're going to do custom box tuned to 32 hertz. Then the amp that we went with. So I decided on doing a dual 2 ohm coil, and then that'll bring it down to 1 ohm. And then the amp that we went with the Salt series, which is from what I've got to experience and everything I've read and from all the dyno runs, the Salt series is an absolute monster. So we went with the Salt 6000. So this amp will do, because it'll be running at 1 ohm, it'll do 6,000 watts in the 1 ohm RMS, which is going to be a ton of clean power for that sub. They recommend a 600 amp fuse on that. It's fairly large. It's like 27, almost 27 inches long. So that'll be what's powering that sub. So that'll be the heart of the base setup. Nightshade 15, custom 32 hertz box with a 6,000 watt amp. So now I went with the new Titan XS batteries, which can charge with the AGM batteries as well. So we're going to do a lithium Titan 8 XS battery, which, holy shit, I couldn't believe how expensive those batteries are. Obviously, I'm used to home theater where nothing is cheap either, but order one battery for like $600, $700 blew my mind. I've been out of the battery game for a while, obviously, but it's supposed to be an absolute amazing battery. Wanted to do, since it's actually, it seems like a pain in the ass because I'm not super familiar with the car world right now, but we're really only doing 4 speakers in one sub. It's not like some kind of huge, in my mind, I was like, what I would do, would be 6 subwoofers and all this stupid shit, and it'd be a huge project for 2 years. But that isn't what we're trying to do with this. Is we're trying to build something super tasteful, something that'll play super loud, clean, sound good, a lot of good deep bass, and something that looks awesome. That if we go to a car show or something with her Jeep, she can show it off. Something also simple for her is I want her to give her own demos. People be like, oh, hey, can we check out the sound system? And she could give her own demos. It's her car. She can take a little pride in it. She's helping along the way with everything on the Jeep too. So I'm just here to help with the audio stuff. So lithium battery, Salt 6000, Nightshade custom box. Now, Jeep has this sorry ass bar across that splits the fronts and the back seats with like these littlest, shittiest speakers you've ever seen in your entire life. That I don't know. You crank it up. She literally cranks her radio up like halfway, and it's not loud. But then when you try to go louder, it goes a tad bit louder, then actually starts getting quieter, like you're overdriving the little amp in the head unit. It sounds terrible. I agree with her. It sounds like shit. So it's got, I don't know, I guess it's would be a component setup, but it's literally like 3.5 or 4 inch speaker with a little 1 inch tweeter. That both sound like garbage. So I ordered these. They haven't came in yet. I'll share them with you guys when we get them. So I ordered these custom that'll go in the stock location, but it gets rid of all that shit. And then you can put in a 6.5 inch coaxial in it. So I was like, well, that's cool. And then down by where your knees go in the front, they have these other little 4 inch speakers up there. And then I just got them today, but they're the inserts to handle 6.5 inch speakers up front as well. So we're getting rid of the old, cheap, non-efficient, shitty drivers, and we got some 3-way Rockford Fosgates. They're not top of the line by any means, but I think they're like 75 watt RMS, 150 watt max maybe. So we're going to switch out all that old crap, and then we'll have 4 6.5s. And then I got another Sunfire SAI or SAE amp that does, I think, 150 by 4 RMS. So that's going to absolutely blow away the mids and the high. It's going to be she's going to be on a whole different planet. She should be absolutely amazed by that. Nothing super crazy with that, but it should provide some, louder than she would ever listen to it, mids and highs, as loud as she wants. So that's cool. We didn't go overboard with that. The sub just seemed a little overboard. I had to do the bass right. And that just, with the sub, obviously it takes the big amp. You need to do it right, and then that includes the big battery. So it got to be an expensive build because of those parts, and that was totally on me. Because Kat's like, oh, you could do a little 8-inch sub or something and just change those other speakers, and I'd be fine. The problem with doing any build, whether it's in the theater, in her car, or if I did a car, is it's got to be something that's enticing to me. I'm just sitting here using my hands. I should be one of those guys. That's what I should do when I retire. So I'm also going to do the big 3. That kit's coming. I'm looking at MechMan alternators now. And then the wiring kit, all 0 gauge, 1/0 gauge, all going to the back. The Rockford Fosgate speakers already showed up. The Sundown Nightshade is supposed to be here Monday or Tuesday. The Salt 6 like Monday or Tuesday. The other Sundown amp Monday or Tuesday. I think they might all be on the same truck. Shit, I don't know. Then that'll be it for so back in the day, we'd all just throw in like these $100, $200 JVC or Kenwood or Pioneer head units. Well, now everything's so damn sophisticated with GPS and all your remotes on your steering wheels and all that other shit. Like her text messages will pop up on the screen and all that stuff. So back to keeping everything daily drivable for her. We didn't want to change any of that. Well, there's one of the DOA guys, because I'm in a group chat with those guys, kicking ideas off them back and forth. And I said, well, I want to use a stock radio. Back in the day when I was doing the stuff, get some line out converters. I know that Audio Control makes some super nice ones for like $100. And those guys are like, no, you don't really want to do that in a new Jeep. They make this pack control module, which sucks because you got to pull the dash apart, pull the radio out. But what's super cool is there's no cutting of any wires. That's all factory harnesses. And you get super good audio quality. You get 6 RCA outs, 1 for front, back, two for front, 2 for back, and then 2 for sub. And it's amazing sound quality. That the box though was like $350, and I was like, shit. But then it just brings me back to the point of that if we're going to go into all this stuff on the Jeep, I want to do it once. I want to do it right. Um, Got to be careful. Talking about a lot of power, like for the amp, so I want to make sure all the wiring is right, all the grounds are good, and so just certainly trying to take our time with the build and do it tastefully, not over the top, but just enough insanity for me to get excited about it. Um, but it's fun. It's fun and frustrating because Kat gives me shit all the time. She's like, because I've been watching all these YouTube videos and watching all these videos about batteries and all this other, by boring as hell stuff to her. I'm just like, I want to understand. I want to know what's going on. I'm just that kind of person. But it's a lot. It's certainly a big learning curve for me from how we used to do things back in the day. But she claims that I enjoy the frustration and the journey. I don't mind a good project, that's for sure. I mean, because the room that I've sitting in has been a project since the day we moved in. But I'll be happy to see it done, not only for her, but just to see the finished project in my mind. It looks super cool. Big box in the back with a big amp, tight wiring, big sub. She's afraid, like we're going to break the Jeep. The sundown audio controller reads the, voltage output and has the sub dial right on it. So I keep telling her, you'll control how much bass you want, but she's worried about the times that I'll play the stereo, which I'm sure I'll try it out a couple times to see what it's capable of. But I don't drive the Jeep. That's her Jeep. It's a pain in the ass. If you're a big guy like me, I know if me and her go out to like dinner or something, that's our nicer car. But we'll still take the Traverse and stuff. I mean, we just got back from dinner tonight and an hour away, but we took the Traverse. But if just her and I go out for a night, we might take the Jeep just because that's her baby. But I don't know. I'll be excited when it's done and get to play with it, see her enjoyment out of it. I think she'll like it. I think when we get the wheels and tires done, and there's a few other things she's kicking around about, maybe like some underground lights and stuff. So whatever she decides to do, I'm sure it'll be awesome. Try to share absolutely as much as possible. For the guys that were asking, or the people that were asking earlier about what we're going to share about the M-Wave stuff, we're going to share some of the road trip. I'm certainly going to share some of the rooms. Going to try to sneak in the JTR room before the event even starts and give you kind of a little preview on the channel of what's going on with that. But we'll be sharing through all the platforms that we do. So on my Facebook, and I tag Kat in a lot of that shit as well. And then obviously in our Living It with Scott and Kat podcast Facebook group. And then also, special content for the Patreon members and YouTube shorts, and then YouTube videos like this where we'll be talking with people. Because when we get back, Kat and I will come on the following week, talk about our experience at M-Wave and what we thought. And then we will also, the week after that, going to try to bring on a member or two that was out at M-Wave and just kind of hash it out, what we thought of each experience, chat with you guys. Oh man, there's some comments on here. I haven't been. Let me. So, like I said, I've been working on a trademark for the Bass Brings Us Together for some future projects we have going on. Not exactly sure what that means yet, but I was filled out a lot of the paperwork while I was waiting to go on live, so that's all been started. So where are we at in the chat, guys? Sorry if I've missed your comments or questions. Let me get out. Fred, he's got a Tesla Model Y. There's a good sound system in there. Hey, man, at least you got plenty of battery for all that stuff, Fred. Johnny E, what's up, Scott? Tell Kat hello. Looking forward to seeing you both at M-Wave 2024, buddy. Hey, man, Johnny, that is what's up, man. Looking forward to hanging out. And this event sounds like it's going to be absolutely insane with what everybody's got going on out there. So certainly looking forward. Kat, what's up, honey? How you doing? You're upstairs now. She got me down here by myself, scared. Well, at least she's been talking back to everybody. You're You're definitely going far larger than anything I wanted. Well, you told me you liked it big. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the subwoofer. Yeah, I told you it was going to be big. Wait until you. I don't know. I keep telling her you're going to shit when you see it because she hasn't seen a nightshade in person. So I keep telling her whatever you think huge is, times that by 2, but I don't think she's going to actually believe it until she sees it. You going to be jamming in that Jeep? Yeah, man, no doubt, Fred. I told Kat, I said, after going and hanging out with the car guys, I said, let's build your Jeep up, and then, once in a while we can go hit up a car audio show or just a car show, because once we get it done with the wheel and tires and a nice sound system and a couple other things she has planned, it'd be something cool to just kind of park and pop the doors, let people check out while we go check out other stuff. It's not going to be no pimp my ride stuff, but it should certainly turn out pretty decent. She is scared. No lie. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, she put me in charge of the audio of her vehicle when she's seen what I did to our basement. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, champ. So, better buy toilet buckets under those seats. Hey, man, Fred, don't be scaring her too much. It's just one little 15 set back there, buddy. Mike says man, my eyesight is shit. Everybody keeps telling me about eye doctor, but ever since I've been screwing around with this diabetic shit, man, my eyesight has been a piece of shit. Some of the powder coaters can do custom color inlays depending on the wheel style. Some RGB, rock. Oh, yeah, I think that's what she sent me some pictures the other night of like, oh, I think these look cool. I think that looks cool. Wheels will definitely be something we do not buy sight unseen. I want her to go. There's a couple Jeep places in Chicago, so once we get the audio is going to get done first. It'll go in steps. We'll do the audio first, which is, first of all, our schedule sucks. We got some personal stuff going on that we got to handle, and then we have M-Waves and some personal matters that her and I have to attend to. Why the hell does this laptop say I need to plug it in? The battery saver's on when I got it plugged in. Give me 1 second, guys. I could have swore I plugged this thing in. It is plugged in. So I don't know what's going on with that. So anyway, so like I said, so we got M-Wave, we got a couple personal things that we need to handle, and then literally after we get back from M-Wave, we got like 3 or 4 weeks, then we're going to Mexico with some friends to hang out, just a adult vacation for Kat and I, go have some fun, and then when we come back, gonna really try to tear into the Jeep because the box should be done into July-ish. Then we got Metallica concert, like I believe in the beginning of August. Hopefully the Jeep's all wrapped up. I'm hoping by like the first week of August. So say 6 weeks or so. We'll rock it out for a while like that, and then at some point we'll start to look at wheels. We'll go look at those in person. Like I said, we're not going to buy wheels sight unseen. I don't know. I might have the wrong charger plugged into this thing. Maybe that's why it ain't working. Well, shit, that's stupid. I don't know. It's been a day. So, yeah, she'll check out the wheels, and then, yeah, like you said about those custom inlays and stuff like that with powder coats. She showed me some cool ones that they were like okay, it says I got to plug my computer in, but you guys got to bear with me for 2 seconds. I'm coming right back. I got the wrong charger on the laptop, fellas and ladies. I think I'm back. Oh shit, we might have some power now. I think we're back in business. Oh, there we go. Now we got power for days. So anyway, so that's what's going on with the Jeep. What else we got going on here? Oh shit, we're already over an hour. Oh, I need to finish going through you guys' comments. Okay. Headlights. She already has aftermarket headlights in there. I forgot what brand they are. But no, she's got aftermarket headlights and taillights. Wave guides, look up Rich Clark's Grand National. Oh, now we need to send a Jeep down to Texas and put a Hellcat motor in it. Man, that sounds cheap, but that's awesome that you say that. I've seen a couple of guys that did that. Cat's not all about going super fast, so that would that'd be even more of a waste of money than the stereo system. If it was my Jeep, then I'd be all down for the Hellcat swap, but we'd have to make the Jeep bigger for me. So Cat wanted a cool car. I said, well, you pick out what kind of cool car you want and we'll see what we can do. And she picked out her cool car. So Don Hensley, what's up, Scott? Can't see it in wave. Hey man, we will certainly see you there. Hopefully have some dinner, have a cocktail, shoot the shit for a while. Looking forward to it. Oh, Cat says, hey, Don. Oh, see, Cat's, man, Cat's one of the best employees this channel's ever had. I'm the janitor, that's for sure. Home Theater Denmark, the 110 DB Club. Hey, brother from another mother, Denmark in the chat for a short time. Hope all is good. Man, it blows my mind that we are sending off some of these shirts. I can't say it enough. Some of these going out to Denmark. I don't know. It's just cool that we're going to be represented over there, with a good friend of ours now that we built through this channel. And this, that's kind of like how bass brings us together, how this hobby's brought us together. And it's funny because I tease Cat all the time, and we're big about giving each other shit all the time, especially if you're familiar with this channel, you'd know that. But I'm like, would you ever thought when we first met that you'd be volunteering, at an audio and video show, or that you'd be help hosting 60 people coming over here to listen to home theater stuff? And it's just blown her mind of how she's gotten tied into this now. She's actually enjoying herself with it all. So it's certainly something cool that we can do together. It gives her and I something else to bond over. I certainly appreciate her being a team player in the beginning because she certainly wasn't very excited by any of it, but now she's actually enjoying herself. And I think the Jeep's going to be another good project for her and I to do together because it's something that's going to mean something to her. And it just, I don't know, makes me feel good that, we're going to make something cool for her to enjoy herself. Kind of like how I have the theater for me. And that's kind of my getaway. Her Jeep, she likes to go out cruising around in her Jeep and she enjoys herself. So that's, kind of like her getaway. No going small for me. No, I mean, come on, man. Scott wants 5 hearse while driving. I wouldn't be against that, but that'd be cool to do in a car. One of the guys' demos I sat through, I think he does like to the mid 20s, like I don't know, like 25 or so. Super windy, super enjoyable. I certainly enjoyed it. A lot of the car guys, not going to say all of them, but a lot of the car guys are like in that 30 to 50 hertz range, which that starts choking you up a little bit more, a little painful in the throat. Which I enjoyed those demos too, and I can appreciate what it takes to do that kind of stuff. I find it more enjoyable the lower we go. Like I said, the box that's getting built for Cat's truck will be 32 hertz, so it should be usable into the upper 20s. I think that I did a lot of research on what driver, what amp, what box tuning. So the Nightshade calls for its best frequency response in a 32 hertz box, and I think that's a good fit for the kind of music that she listens to, and also, there was no point of building like a 40 hertz box with a different sub. I just think that she would. I think it's just all around going to be a better sub for her build. Tango Fred 215, anything below 20 hertz, so I'll keep the cops away. So why not? That's funny, man. Isn't more better? Yeah, hell yeah, man. Why not? Colin, don't worry, Scott. I'll get you a demo in my Mazda 6 with 218s. Yeah, Colin, you were still working on your car. Did you get your car done, Colin? Because I know you didn't bring yours to Slam. You came with everybody else. Did you end up getting your car wrapped up? Denmark, my brother. I am just like a little kid waiting for them shirts, but you guys do an awesome job, so I support anything coming from you people. Well, we certainly appreciate that. One of the biggest things that Kat and I appreciate is, people messaging us, or, hey, do some more lives. We like hanging out, having a good laugh with you guys. And we love hanging out with you guys too. And it's just, we're going to certainly try to get more content out. I try to post frequently, even if it's just shorts. But, coming on live, chatting and hanging out with you guys, we look forward to it, man. And meeting you guys in person, if you're coming over here for demos, or we're going to your home theater, or the guys that I've met in the car audio stuff, or the guys we're going to hang out with at M-Wave. It certainly just blows our mind how much fun that we're having with everybody. So I'll hang out here for a few more minutes of this Friday night. I appreciate you guys, man. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. Certainly always try to keep it to an hour. You guys, all probably got a lot of shit going on, such as myself too. He said he got the baffle cut, in the process of getting it mounted. Still have a decent bit of work to do with and more sound in there. So what's your ETA and all that, Colin? You thinking like in a week or two or a month? What do you got going on with that, man? Colin's one of the car audio guys that's in the group, but the DOA guys that have been that I've been kicking a lot of ideas off back and forth of the route I want to go with the Jeep. Just they got more experience, especially with a lot more of the more current products. Like I said, I've been out of the car audio game for quite some time, so it's been cool to hang out with these guys, not only in person. Like I said, they've been to my house, we've hung out, I've gone out to experience their vehicles. We chat often about these hobbies, so it's kind of cool. Oh, Kat is another work emergency. Yeah, it's funny because Kat and I have been together, which seems for forever, but my phone, literally my phone, all day, all night, middle of the night, it just goes off. So that's one thing too that she's super cool about. She knows what it takes about emergency services and stuff like that. So I bounce out in and out of the house all hours of the night, or take phone calls or whatever. So it's funny. She said never stops. That's right. Colin, aiming for 2 weeks, still waiting on some new equipment to show up. So Colin, for the people that are tuning in here, are going to be watching this later, I'm planning on, and Kat won't be able to go with me, which sucks, because I was planning on bringing her out with me, but because we're going to just be doing back-to-back vacations between Kansas City and Mexico, she probably won't be able to make it out to Base Wars. On having, Colin, are you planning on having your car done for Base Wars? Because I would certainly love to check that out. And are all the DOA guys coming out there? Because I got a couple other buddies that might come out there with me to that event too, because it's only like a half hour away from my house, where the Indianapolis one was a lot more of a hike. So it'd be cool if all you guys are coming out to that one as well. believe, yeah, Michael's going out there because he's the one that sent me the invite. And then Connor, I believe, said that he was going to be making it. So I don't know, trying to keep up with my schedule and other people's schedules and going on. But our big thing right now is getting the Jeep done. Couple weeks, and by couple I mean like 6. Having a great time at M Wave. Going to Mexico and not giving a shit about nothing, like getting the Jeep done, or well, I answer my phone even on vacation, but hopefully not too many crazy work emergencies, and just Kat and I and our friends just floating around in a pool with a cocktail and listening to music and relaxing and just doing that. So we'll be sharing stuff all throughout Mexico vacation, Emily vacation, through all the places that we share our shit through. So I'll be wrapping this up in a second. So like I said, guys, with your M-Wave, for our Patreons, we'll be bringing the shirts with, which is, I think we got, I don't know, we're bringing a couple shirts down there. The rest are going to get sent off Monday or Tuesday. Cat or I will send those off. Do they have National Vodka Day in Mexico? Yeah, they do if I'm down there, because that's all I drink when I'm down there. I get sick every time I go to Mexico. I don't know if my stomach can't handle some of that stuff down there like the other people, but yeah, I watch what I eat when I go down there. But yeah, that's all I drink when I go down there. Tango is vodka for breakfast, lunch, dinner, all night, nightcap, snack, brunch, whatever. So every day's National Vodka Day when I go to Mexico. That's for sure. I knew that answer. Never drink their water and their food. Be careful. Yeah, I mean, like our friends and even Kat can eat almost anything when they go down there. I don't know. Every time I go down there, I get like strep throat or some shit. So certainly looking forward to just going down there and just having a good time and hanging out, because Kat and I certainly need the you know to just go down there and let loose for like a week. So where we go, it's partying every day, loud music, drinks, laughing, fun, good times. I'm down there talking shit with everybody. Colin says, which Base Wars event is that? Oh shit, man. It's in let me see if I can bring it up real quick, Colin. I believe it's Base Wars in Onarga, Illinois. Let me see. I'm gonna look that up real quick, man, since we're right on here. And then I'll share it. I need an assistant. Base Wars. All right, I'm going to share the screen now, Colin. Once I figure out what the fuck I got going on here. Here we go. So this is this the home? I don't know why it says events. Here we go. So is this familiar? Are you familiar with this shit right here, Colin? Because I'm not. I just know. So this must be. I mean, this is what it is. And the event is at the end of July. I'm looking for it. It's got to be one of these. Is it summer? Oh yeah, this is it right here, Colin. So SummerSlam 2024. Okay. So I'll be out at this event. I don't know why it only says 8 to 11. I don't know if it only goes for 3 hours, but I would imagine it goes longer than that. But I don't know shit. So, but I will be out at this event on July 27th. Um, so, so that's the event that was in. Going to duck out, Mike. Turn off the lights when you finish up, Scott. Hey, I am wrapping up myself too, Mike. It's been a long, hot day in Chicago. I got everybody tied up here for about an hour and 20 minutes. Um, you are my man in every situation while I bring the herbs. That's awesome. All right, man. I appreciate everybody coming out here to hang out with us or hang out with me and hang out with each other. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties when we first started. We lost some people, got some people, and just weird shit going on. But what can you say? So, wrapping up episode 21, I will be sharing Kat and I's road trip, some things throughout the road trip through MWave. So, keep an eye out on YouTube, on Facebook, on YouTube Shorts, on our Patreon. Free shirt. Sign up for Patreon if you want to just buy a shirt. Our girl's working on that. I hopefully have some kind of some kind of link here in the next couple of weeks. So, all right, everybody, peace out. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys on the next one.